Hi everyone, just wanted to do a little quick video just to give you a kind of a health update with how I've been. As you know, there hasn't been a lot of video content, well, none, for the last few weeks, and that's because of a few factors. Firstly, I went on holiday to Norway. That was a good fun time, you know, did a little small cruise up with a few mates, up and down to dodge some of the UK heat wave. And that was good, and that was mid-June for about a week. The last video I put out would have been, I think, the Old King's Crown review. I did it shortly before I went. But then I got back from the cruise, fine, you know, totally enjoyed the holiday and that, but it definitely was kind of Butlins on the water. Like, the ship was too big, too many people, and normally when I go on cruises, I like to go for smaller ships, go in off-peak times, it's cheaper, it's quieter, and they are so much better than doing it here. So as much as I enjoyed the holiday, I do regret going at this particular time. But that being said, I came back and all of us basically ended up with a stinking cold. So a cold that basically floored me for a few days. And I had to get over that. I think that hit me on the Sunday after I got back on the Saturday. And, you know, for a few days off work, you know, just like couldn't do anything, head fever, you know, days all throat, sore throat, everything, you know, just wasn't great. And then I got over that bit by about mid-late week, and I thought, okay, not too bad, you know, by the weekend this is okay, but my throat was a bit sore, and it still is a bit now. It's, you know, when you've coughed a lot, when you've thrown up a bit and stuff like that, it's not good. And bear in mind, my throat is already kind of damaged from acid reflux that I deal with. But the problem was that I got over the cold, and I thought, right, I got to deal with the throat, that's fine. But then, guess what happened? I went into work for one day on the week, and then on the Tuesday morning, basically overnight, I contracted some kind of bug from somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know if it was something I ate on Monday evening or whether it was just a flat out summer bug. There's something going around, I think, in the UK at the moment, and the summer with the heat wave does not help. But whatever I caught, basically from 3 o'clock in the morning onwards, I was just in, I'm a walking zombie mode on borrowed time. You know, not only did I have fever, but I was also sick to my stomach. I vomited several times, and because it was black, you know, red, because I think my throat was still damaged from the previous cold, it caused enough of a bit of a stir that I was recommended to go to A&E. So I went to A&E and, you know, went there on the Tuesday. My parents very kindly came down, saw to me, you know, got me there and back, and I had all the stuff in my arms. I had blood tests, I had to give samples and everything. And, you know, they got me on a omeprazole drip, they got me on IV drips, anti-sickness drugs, and whew, it was a bit of a rough time. But, you know, I eventually recovered a bit while there, enough to go home. Parents looked after me for a bit more. I stayed overnight, but then they had to go home the next day. And then I took another day off work and tried to recover for that bit. And I think because I went to hospital, the recovery was a lot quicker. If I'd not gone to hospital, I think I'd still be sick now. But I, you know, worked from home on the rest of the week, a little bit groggy, a little bit low on energy, and I was a little bit like, concerned about what I could eat. But, you know, I've recovered a bit during there, and my throat wasn't much better. Now we're on the weekend, you know, so 2 weeks have passed since I got back from the, you know, cruise. And finally, I'm kind of on the road to recovery. And I say the road to recovery because my throat is still not perfect. It's not as sore as it was before, but it does dry out. It does get irritated easily, and it does cause me to cough. I'm doing all right at the moment because I had a nice cup of tea before I started this video. But what I do worry about, though, is that this might hinder my ability to talk for extended amounts of time. As you know, my videos can go on quite long. It could be a 30 to 40 minute video, which could still be an hour of talking. So there's quite a bit. So I do need to, I want to get back into some video content. I feel like I'm, you know, I've got my head's feeling good. I don't have a fever anymore. I don't have a queasy stomach. I'm eating normally. I'm gonna really get my diet back on going. I mean, I need to go back to the gym and start doing some basic cardio to get my fitness back up because I haven't been to the gym for weeks. I also need to start eating more healthy stuff. So I've got lots of fruit, veg. I'm going to do fruit, you know, vegetable smoothies. I'm going to start, you know, really trying to get some more veg in my diet and really, for the summer at least, get my, you know, diet back on track because I just struggle in the summer. The summer is just hell for me. I can't take high summer temperatures. It just doesn't work with me. My body just shuts down. My brain shuts down. My immune system shuts down. And I just get ill and contract stuff. You know, I am very much an autumn-winter person. Hell, if I could uproot myself and go live in the Scandinavia or something, or in Iceland, I probably would, just because it's colder there. You know, it's just not something I'm good with. And, you know, as heat waves keep appearing and the UK gets hotter and hotter, summer just gets more and more unbearable for me. So it's just a bit of one of those periods. But my throat is doing better. Got to give it a little bit of treatment every now and again and be careful. But I want to get back into some content, and I am a bit overdue on a few things. I was going to give Lufia a review, which I can do. Emberleaf I've got as a review copy I need to review. I wanted to give Nature a review, the new one from North Star Games. And I also was meant to do, for release date, a little playthrough of King Domino Digital. Unfortunately, I was too ill at the time to be able to do that. So the... yeah, throat's getting a little bit there. The problem was, obviously, I'm falling behind on that. So I do want to do some content, but I think what's going to happen is that I will do that playthrough a bit later when I feel a bit more comfortable talking for an extended amount of time. And I'm definitely going to do reviews of the 3 titles I mentioned, but there will probably be speed reviews. So a speed review of Lufia, speed review of Emberleaf, and a speed review of... I'm forgetting already, my brain's gone to Nature. You know, so, you know, there won't be a detailed review for those because I think they'll just be too long and I won't be able to manage. Same for top 10s. I won't be able to do a top 10 for a little bit. I wanted to do some tier lists of things like my favorite Arc Nova maps and favorite Sentinel heroes and stuff like that. I still intend to do that, but we'll put that on the back end along with King Domino Digital, so until my throat gets there, because I wanted to do those as live streams. Do need to be able to talk for a while to be able to do a live stream, so so that's kind of what's on my agenda. So, you know, content will eventually start filtering back to the channel. I probably also need to give the podcast a bit of a miss for a while, because that is talking for quite a long time. Unless I do very small podcasts, we'll have to see. But you know, I'm just going to have to basically play it by ear and see how my throat does. The more it heals, the more I'll be able to do. And I'm definitely on the road to recovery. The throat is really the last bit that needs to heal, as well as getting my energy levels back up and my nutrition back to square one. So there is that. I mean, I'm pretty much teetotal at the moment. I haven't had a single drink since the cruise. And even though I've got a works due in that next week and that, I'm probably going to be teetotal for another few weeks, because I really do need to get my immune system back up to scratch. So there is that. But there's stuff to look forward to. You know, there's that content, and I'm going to ManaCon later this month. I will be attending that. You know, I mean, touch wood, I don't contract some other freaking illness. I mean, crying out loud, I've already been ill twice in the last 2 weeks. What else can I possibly contract now? I don't know. You know, so that if I don't, as long as I don't end up with typhoid or whatever in the next week, I should be at ManaCon. So that will be pretty sweet. But other than that, not much else is on the horizon, and I suppose it's a good thing that this happened during the summer when there isn't a lot to talk about in games, because if this happened around Essen, oh boy, that would have been pretty tough. I would have hated to have missed Essen and fallen behind on all those reviews because of a bug. Yeah, that would have sucked. But anyway, suffice to say, back on the road to recovery. Things will slowly get back to normal. Thanks for everybody for all your messages. It's been great to hear from you when I've put posts up to say how I was. You've given me support, said get well soon, told me not to rush. I'm not trying to rush back into things. I am going to build myself up slowly, but I am eager to get back to normal. I'm kind of sick and tired of feeling like an invalid for the last 2 weeks. So, you know, it's time to get back to a normal life. But yeah, thanks for all the messages. It means a lot. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all your patience, you know, for the fact that there's been nothing to watch on the channel for a few weeks. But let's face it, it's not like you're short of content. If you just look back at the last couple of years, there's plenty enough content to catch up on. But yeah, just thanks everybody. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support. And I'll be back up and running soon. So take care. Remember, it's only a game, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.